Hey, chess enthusiasts, Francis here. I'm back again. Today we are going to discuss about our part 3 of the Bishop G5 formation variation in the Sicilian Scheveningen. Let's recap our variation. We have E4, C5, Knight F3, D6, D4, C takes D4, Knight takes D4, Knight F6, Knight C3, A6, Bishop G5, E6, F4, Bishop to E7, Queen to F3, and Queen to C7, the beginning of our variation. In part 1, we discussed about what black should do if white plays G4. And in part 2, we discussed about the Queen to G3 move. Here, in part 3 of our video, we will discuss about what black should do if white plays Bishop to D3 or Bishop to E2. Let's discuss first Bishop to D3. So after Bishop to D3, Black will respond with Bishop to D7. So this is my recommended move because here White is planning to centralize his rooks, and he would probably triple castles and make a pawn storm on our king side flank. So our recommendation is Bishop to D7. After White triple castles, we have H6 to kick away the bishop. And if White plays Bishop takes F6, we have Bishop takes F6. And after Knight DE2, we have Knight C6. After G4, we have B5. Then after King to B1, my recommended move here is Bishop to E7. B4 is wrong because White will push his E pawn to E5. Then after D takes E5, instead of White recapturing our pawn back, recapturing his pawn back, he has this intermezzo Knight to E4, and after our bishop retreats, he has F5 instead of F takes E5. So the resulting position is very favorable for White. So I'm not recommending this. So I'm not recommending B4. Instead, I'm recommending Bishop to E7. So after Bishop to E7, we have Knight G3, B4, the Knight CE2, we have G6. So overprotecting the F5 pawn, preparing for the F5 advance by White. After H4, we have Queen to B6. Then if White plays H5, we have G5. G5, we have H5, closing the position or the flank. And Black is very safe here. Or after F5, we have Knight to E5, kicking away the queen. And after Queen to G2, we simply triple castles. And Black is very safe here. So let's go back. So here in this position, if White does not capture our knight, but instead retreats his bishop to H4, we have Knight to C6, and after Knight CE2, we have three choices. We have E5, which is a simplified line. So after E5, White may capture our knight on C6. We have Bishop takes C6, and after F takes E5, we have D takes E5. After Bishop takes F6, we have Bishop takes F6, and after H4, we have triple castles, and Black is very safe here. But you may choose the dynamic line, B5. After B5, G4. After G5, we have F takes G5, and knight to E5, queen to G3, knight takes D3, queen takes D3, and knight takes G4. Black is very fine here. Play may continue. Rook H G1, and we have knight to E5, and after queen to G3, we simply have knight G6. If white, instead of capturing the pawn, first captures on our knight, knight takes C6, we have the response, bishop takes C6, and after F takes G5, F takes G5, we have knight D7, pinning the white's bishop, and after G6, we have F takes G6, after bishop takes E7, we have king takes E7, and this is very safe for black. So instead of B5, we can also have another dynamic line, which is rook to C8. Play may continue. G4, E5, knight F5, and after E takes F4, white will not play knight takes F4 because of G5, forking both the bishop and the knight, and that is not good for white. So white will probably take on the pawn on G7 with a check. Then after king to F8, we have knight F5, and after knight to E5, we have queen to H3, and after bishop takes F5, we have G takes F5. After F3, we have knight D4, and after knight F G4, white may opt for F6. Play may continue. Bishop takes F6, and after bishop takes F6, we have knight takes F6. After queen to F5, we have king to E7. This is just as good for black. If white captures the pawn, we have the reply, knight takes D3. So that is not good for white. So that is the bishop D3 line. Let's discuss what black should do if white plays bishop to E2. Here, we have the normal Scheveningen development. So we recommend knight BD7, and after white triple castles, we can play B5, which can result to transposition, as if the G4 move was made. But here, G4 hasn't been made yet. So after E5, bishop to B7, queen to G3 is possible. So after D takes E5, F takes E5, we have queen takes E5 here. After bishop F4, we have queen to C5, knight B3, and after knight B3, we have queen to F5. Play may continue, bishop D3, and we have queen to G4, which is fine for black. But here, since queen to G3 is possible, as G4 has not been moved yet by white, we can play H6, and after bishop to H4, again, we may play B5. But look at the difference here. Black may transpose and play bishop takes F6, and after knight takes F6, he has the E5 move, which is very different if the G4 move has been made by white. So after bishop to b7, we have queen to g3. After d takes e5, we have f takes e5. And after knight to e4, we have knight takes e6. F takes e6 is not good for black because we have queen to g6, and after king to f8, there is rook f to h1. So here, if you happen to be in this variation, the correct response is queen takes c3 and play may continue. Knight takes g7, king to f8, knight to e6, king to e8, queen takes c3, knight takes c3, and after knight to c7, we have king to f8, b takes c3, rook to c8. After knight to d5, we have bishop takes d5, and after rook takes d5, we have rook to g8. So the resulting position slightly favors white. So here, black may opt to castle. For castle, white has two options for his continuation of attack. We have g4. After g4, we have b5. And after g5, our h takes g5. And after f takes g5, we have knight to h7. Queen to h3, we have knight to e5. After rook h g1, we have knight g6, which is very fine for black. So it's a fine defensive maneuver. If white plays queen to g3, we have simply king to h8. And after bishop to f3, we have knight to c5. And after rook h to e1, we have bishop to d7. After queen to f2, we have knight g8. Trying to exchange the bishop, as the g4 advance by white will be dangerous. After g4, we have bishop takes h4. After queen to h4, we have b5. After g4 or g5, we have b4. After knight c to e2, we have rook a to c8. After g takes h6, we have knight takes h6, which is good for black. So that's it, guys. That is our discussion on our part 3. Bishop to e2 or bishop to d3 move. So I hope you keep on playing and you keep on winning many games.